Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day to everyone, and would like to extend a hearty welcome to all our attendees from all the different parts of this great continent of Africa. We are also aware that we have visitors, people who are joining us from outside of the continent. You are all welcome, and thank you for joining us today. Before we get into our conversation for today, we would like to ask you to watch the following video clip just for a few minutes. Thank you. As you have noted from that video, Africa Elta is a very, very busy association. And we hope that if you are not one of us yet, you'll join us and be part of this. Would like to welcome you to today's panel discussion. It's the first of a number of panel discussion series. We intend to have more and more of them. Our interest is in giving voice to the many English language teachers in the different parts of the continent and beyond, and those who are outside, just for us to share our practices. Let us know what you're doing in your corner. Maybe what you are doing might help me where I am. And that's the whole thing, for us to work together, to encourage one another, to enrich one another. There is a Sesotho idiomatic expression that says "Motho ke motho ka batho," which means that I am because you are. We depend on one another. So what you are helps me to be who I am, to be what I am. And because of that, these series are very, very important to us. And for this evening, we've got three experienced and renowned educators from three different countries. And I'm going to introduce the members of the panel so that you can know them. And the first one is Felix Kayongo. He is in the Elta Association, Angola. He is a teacher at Osvaldo Serra Vandeman Secondary School. He's also the coordinator of the English language in Dundo, capital city, that province of Lunda Norte in Angola. Felix, what does Elta stand for? Can you give us the full Elta? What does it stand for?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me in this conversation. Elta, as you know, is a big association with so many members, and intended to train many teachers to be more, skilled in teaching English language, of course.
Okay, I wanted you to, thank you for that. I wanted you to tell me what ANELTA stands for.
Okay, Elta is Angolan National Teachers Association, of course.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you very much. And thanks, you have already told me how big Elta is, and you're welcome to our panel this evening. The second member of the panel is Mariama Duno from GETC Guinea. The association is GETC from Guinea. She is a teacher at Lycée Mbalia Camara High School in Conakry, Guinea. Mariama, what does GETC stand for?
GETC is Guinea English Teacher Club.
Okay.
And it's a big association.
It's also a big association. Wow, wonderful, yes. Wonderful. We brought the right people this evening, or rather today. I keep saying evening because where I am is evening. Thank you very much, and you're welcome to the panel this evening. And the third member of the panel is Thomas Cantega from the Beta Association, BETA, Burkina Faso. He is a teacher at Lycée de Cantega Secondary School in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. Thomas, what does BETA stand for? You may want to unmute. I can see you are talking to me.
Yeah. Thank you. BETA stands for Burkina English Teachers Association.
Is it also a big association?
Yeah, it's a big association that is doing outstanding job for English teachers in Burkina.
Okay.
It helps the English teachers in Burkina.
All right, beautiful. So thank you so much. These are the three visitors we have this evening, the three members of the panel. And as you can see, they all represent huge English associations. One One is called Elta. He is from Angola. The association is called Elta. The other one, the association is called GETC from Guinea. And the third one, the association is called BITA from Burkina Faso. They're all English language teaching associations, and they're all big. And so we do have the right people. I promise you, we've got the right people today. I'm going to ask you then, I will keep starting from Felix, and after that, Miriama, and then after that, Thomas. I think we'll just do it in that order. I would like you to tell us about your teaching context, Felix.
Yeah, of course. Like as you mentioned, I'm a teacher at Osvaldo Serrabandone here in Angola. I teach from 7th to 9th grade.
Okay.
This is a secondary, first cycle of a secondary school in our country. Okay. Yes, and I've been teaching English for almost 12 years.
Full of experience.
Of course.
And you are also a coordinator. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, it means that we received the program, national English program from the Ministry of Education. And then we split this program into number of the weeks or months in order to facilitate other teachers to work each day. That's what exactly we do. We join the groups of other coordinators, and when we come together, okay, we come and we plan and we divided the program into numbers of the weeks, like I mentioned, or numbers of the months.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Miriam, tell us about your teaching context.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Mawela, for giving me the speech. Guinea is a French-speaking country.
Okay.
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 So in Guinea here, we have teaching English is a big challenge for us. So we have a national curriculum, which is provided by the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
And they make sure that we teachers follow the curriculum by doing the inspection. Okay. Find out if the teacher planned before going to school, if the teachers assess students, and if we respect and follow the curriculum. Thank you.
So, okay, thank you very much for that. So when you say it's a French-speaking country, do you teach English as a second language or as a foreign language in your country?
We teach English as a foreign language. Our official language here in Guinea is French.
It's French. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Thank you very much. Yes, that's very enlightening. Your turn, Thomas. What's your teaching context?
All right. Here in Ouagadougou, I'm teaching English in a secondary school, and that's middle school and high school, as Felix was saying. You can say first cycle and second cycle, so depending on the term we decide to use. And I'm also the head of the English Teachers Education Council of my school.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that means I'm also in charge of coordinating the pedagogical related activities about English in my school.
Right.
We design the progression. That means splitting, as Felix was saying, the program into weeks and so on, and organizing the different tests and so on in my school. So I basically teach English as a foreign language because here our official language is French. So we are teaching it as a foreign language.
So, okay, that's interesting. So that means Angola and Burkina Faso are Francophone countries.
No, Guinea and Burkina Faso. Angola maybe.
No.
Right?
Not Angola. Yes, you're right. Guinea and Burkina Faso. So what about Angola? You are a Portuguese-speaking country?
Yes, of course. Our official language is Portuguese.
Oh, okay. And so do you also teach English as a foreign language?
Of course, yes. English is our foreign language. Yes, we teach as a foreign language.
Interesting. All right. Wow, this is nice. This is exciting. And when you look at your countries, all of you, how many languages are spoken there? You know, and how does the home language, or how do the home languages affect the teaching of English? You all teach English as a foreign language, and there is already an official language. It's either it is Portuguese or French, and their home languages. I'm looking at this multilingual context, you know, how many, so I'm asking this question in A and a B and a C. The A of it is, you know, around how many languages are spoken in your country, and the B of the same question is, since you are teaching English as a foreign language, because there is an official language, how then do all these languages impact on the teaching of English? Let's start with Thomas, and then we'll come to Felix, and then end with Miriam on this question.
Okay, thank you for the floor. As I said before, we teach English as a foreign language. We already have an official language, which is French. In addition to French, we have 60 other national languages.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds much, you know. So, and among those 60 languages, Moray is the most spoken across the country. Yeah, and also depending on the region, we have Fulani.
Yes.
And Jula, which are considerably spoken as well.
Okay.
So this situation impacts the teaching of English in our countries in several ways, ranking from the subject matter, I mean, the use of the language and the structure of the language, pronunciation, and also immersion issues. I don't know if you get me.
So yeah, I hear you, and I understand what you are saying. I'm just thinking as you are talking, asking myself, are your learners compelled to learn English, or is it taught to those who want to learn it? Is it like
they are compelled to learn English because it's part of the compulsory subject that courses that they should take in secondary school.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Then I'm sure it doesn't make it easy to teach, right?
Yeah, it doesn't make it easy because some of them sometimes ignore the importance of the language to them because they are in a French-speaking country. Correct. And apart from French, they have the other local languages that they speak much. So for them,
so they easily fall back on what they know best.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
The biggest issue, but we try, and okay. And the influence of French specifically is sometimes the position of the adjective, the position of the adjective when you're teaching them. The structure, the position of the adjective, because
are we losing Thomas?
After the noun, then if you get me, while in English is different. So the position is sometimes misleading.
Okay. Thank you very much. Very interesting. The next person, the same question.
Yeah, you know, in our country, as I said, we have Portuguese as official language. Apart from that, we have 6 more official and national language. We have many more languages, but those 6 are official. Language. Yes, and of course, it has some impact in teaching English as a foreign language. In terms of, as Thomas said, writing and also speaking. Because students, sometimes they want to compare Portuguese to English.
Yes.
Yes, and when it's come to speaking, they may face the differences because the pronunciation in English is different from Portuguese, and they sometimes bring some kind of confusing situation.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Sometimes bored, they become bored, of course, and we try to put them down. And even we use code swifting. We try to translate both language to help them. And they want to first understand it in their own language.
Yeah.
And then try to literally translate, I mean, word by word. Yeah, Portuguese, English, and you know that there is no 2 languages are the same in terms of grammar.
Right, that's true. That's true. Thank you very much. And is it a compulsory? Is English compulsory, or is it only those who are interested in learning English who get to learning it?
No, it is an obligation. We have English in our program, for starting, because let me just clear. We have English only starting from grade 7. So English is a foreign language, it's an obligation to learn English.
From grade 7 on, it's an obligation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. That's interesting. Miriama?
Okay, thank you. In Guinea, we have, apart from our official language, which is French, we have 27 local languages.
37.
27.
27, okay.
Yes, local language, which have the different accents according to the different region. So because of those accents, students have a big problem with pronunciation.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But for example, in my class, when I'm teaching reading, I do drilling with my students to allow them to pronounce word words.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And is it compulsory?
Yeah, it's an obligation to learn English. It's part of our program. Yes. From 7, like in Angola, from 7 to
upward.
Yes.
Yeah, to the end of high school.
And the government intend to start from grade 3, but we are on this program.
Okay.
We started, but because of the coronavirus, but we started with just from school to see if it works. Because of the coronavirus, so we stopped it. But we are on it, yes. We'll continue with the program.
Okay, this is interesting. I like this. It looks like the situation is similar. For someone who comes from an English speaking, so to say, English-speaking country, it's interesting to hear that, you know, there are people who are looking at, there's an official language, there are local languages, and then there is English. So it cannot be easy to do that. And it also helps us as other members of the continent to understand that this issue of multilingual language is broader and more complicated in other countries than in others. So yeah, thank you very much for that. My next question to the three of you is, what are the requirements for hiring English teachers in your country? What are the requirements for hiring English teachers in your country? We'll start with, who should go first? Mariama, and then from there we'll go to Thomas, and then we'll end with Felix.
Okay, thank you. The requirements of hiring English teachers in my country, yes, are the diploma, the qualification certificate, and after that, the government organized the recruitment test.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Thank you very much. The next person.
You're welcome.
Yeah, all right. Okay, the requirement for hiring an English teacher in Burkina Faso, the first one is academic qualification. You should have like a bachelor degree in the subject,
okay,
in the major before applying for teaching position. And also after the academic qualification, you may teach in private school.
Okay.
But prior to that, you need to get a kind of license from the department, from a given department of the ministry in charge of education, before teaching in private school first. But when it comes to hiring in public school, after the academic qualification, you need to take a test, a national competition test. When you are successful, then you go to the National Teaching College to be trained for a year of practical training. After that, you go to the field for an internship. And when you are successful after all these procedures, then you become a certified English teacher.
Okay, okay. Sounds like quite a process, eh? In your country. Yeah. But that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Felix.
All right. I think the situation is the same. You need a certificate or a degree, and then it's through a selection process that we call a public contest. You take a test, then if you succeed, you get the job.
Okay.
That's normally what's happening in our country.
Okay. So if you don't succeed in that test, forget about the job.
Yeah.
So that sounds similar to the one in Thomas' case, right? Or there's a there's some exam that you write in order for you to get a job. And there's a license for that's very interesting. That shifts quite a lot. In my country, the general thing is, yes, you have to have a qualification, which is an academic qualification. It can be a diploma, it can be a bachelor's degree. And then after that, for you to get a job, you need to have a license that allows you to teach. It is provided by the ministry. And it is called SACE. It allows you to teach. Without it, you cannot teach. You are not allowed to teach anywhere in terms of basic education. All right, thank you very much for that. We are learning quite a lot, and you can send those questions and comments. I can see questions, rather comments. I can see comments on the chat box, and we're happy about that. We are going to read your questions later in order for you, for the for our visitors, the panelists, to respond to them. And my next question is, what are the challenges that most teachers face in your context? What are the challenges that most teachers in your context face? We can start with you, Felix.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there is so many challenges, of course. But one of the main challenges is that we are limited in terms of English materials. Although the Ministry of Education has been doing a lot to help us and providing us with some materials, but those materials are not available to everyone or every student.
So that stifles the movement.
Yes, of course. And not only that, another challenge is that we don't use IT, technology in most schools. Out of 100, maybe 5 or less than that. Yes.
So that means that the textbook is important.
Of course, yes. And because of that, sometimes we face a lot of challenge.
Yeah.
Achieve our goals, for example.
Yeah. Textbook challenges. Tell me about it. What about you, Miriam? What challenges are more common for most teachers in your context?
Okay, the challenges we face in Guinea here with the teacher, because like I said, for the first time, we are the French-speaking country.
Yes.
So some teachers have lack of self-confidence speaking English in class. That's the big challenges we are facing here.
Okay.
And we have lack of low resources to
improve that. So that means the first issue is a number of teachers. We have fewer teachers than
some of them have lack of self-confidence. Yes.
Yeah, I get your point. So because of that, you have a shortage of English language teachers, because many are afraid. They're like, I don't want to find myself.
For example, when they are inspection, you may see that they can teach well in the class. There's not, but if someone else came in the classroom to inspect them, you see that they will lose everything. You see, they won't be able to teach well like the way they did as
when there was no one.
They'll be panicked. I don't know. That's self-confidence.
Yeah. It is scary though to find someone coming into my class. Okay, no, thanks for that. Thomas, what's the situation in your case? What's the common challenge, or what are the common challenges in your context?
I think we all have the same challenges in common. The one about lack of adequate teaching resources.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You are saying teaching resources is a major challenge.
Yeah, lack of adequate teaching materials, and also an issue related to course books. We don't have contextualized course book that really match with our realities in order to maybe motivate the learners more. So all those things need to be adjusted. And we also have, as I said before, the issue of the language. Because we are in a French-speaking country, some students neglect English because for them they ignore the use of the language, and this is another challenge that we face in our daily activities. But with Beta, we try to overcome those challenges. Beta is doing a tremendous job to help all the teachers with the means on the materials at hand, what we may use.
So you try to provide materials for the teachers as Beta or Beta, as an association, you try to do that.
Yeah, we try to do that, have all the teachers be more confident in their teaching activities, and also help them with skills and strategies to perform the activities with the means at hand, because we don't have everything. Some are even working in villages where they lack connectivity, they don't have internet, it's really difficult for them to get
those are
resources
realities,
by themselves. So with the different activities of Beta, we try to provide all the teachers with the materials at hand, so that we can try our best.
Well done, Beta. That's good. That's good. At least you are trying to mitigate those challenges, against those challenges. What about you, Felix? How do you, in your context, how do you try to mitigate against this challenge? You have a similar challenge of lack of material. How do you try to mitigate against that?
Of course, to overcome these problems, you know, Bella that says the teacher, we are researcher. We go over, we try to get in contacts with other people. Sometimes we use our own money to buy those materials far from here. So that is the solution that we find.
Yeah, you are right. The teachers sacrifice all the time. Even we always go to our pockets, and it's not like we get a lot of money, you know. Well, that's nice. Thanks for that, Miriam. This challenge of lack of confidence, how do you try to mitigate against that? How do you try to attend to that? You indicated two problems. You said one is lack of confidence. The second one you said is material, not enough material.
Okay, to overcome these challenges, we decided to create GTEC, which is an association, Guinea English Teacher Clubs, to help to give opportunity to those teachers to express themselves. I can take example on me today. Because of GTEC, I'm here with you. I got this opportunity to express myself. So, and we also created a WhatsApp group in which we organized the Zoom local meeting with other teachers to talk about, to share about our curriculum. We organized the Zoom meeting with other teachers to talk about our own curriculum. Because there's some teachers, they have some problem teaching some lessons, so we come together to talk about that issue. And we also created a regional GTEC. The first one is the national GTEC. We also created the regional GTEC to be in touch with those teachers who are in interior, who are in the remote area. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm actually impressed. All of you people are really doing a good job. You're working And I like the idea that the associations in your countries are taking an active step of trying to, you know, solve the problems that are there. Of course, why should the association be there if it's not helping people to try and sort out, let's do this, let's do this. The Ministry of Education is there and it's good, but it's not always, it's not going to be able to cater for everything. So some of the things we must do ourselves. So yeah, I'm impressed. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm looking at time, so I'm going to wrap up. I'll ask you just last two questions. The first one is, we have just gone through COVID-19. Well, maybe we're not done with it yet, but we had the 2 years. This past 2 years affected the whole continent and indeed the whole globe when it comes to teaching and learning. How were you affected in your country and how did you deal with it? The 2 years, the past 2 years when there was almost no schooling. Who will go first? Thomas, you can go first.
Okay.
Oh, you want to go first, Miriam? No problem, go ahead.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yes, I can say that COVID affected our country because Guinea, Guinea first reported its first case on 12 March 2020. And then after a few days, we closed on 24th March. They decided, they gave order to close all the school so that we can avoid the spread of the virus. Yes. So for that, we organized, because there was no school now, everybody was at home, but we didn't stay. We organized the online classes for the students.
Okay.
There was, yes, in all over the country, there was online school classes for the students and on the TV too. So pass on the TV and on the radio too. For those who are in the remote area, get in touch with the teacher. So we organized that. After that was during the COVID. And after 2 months, on June, we decided to reopen the school, but just for the exam classes. So just for the exam classes.
Those exit classes.
Yes, those who were doing the examination. So we opened the school and all the teachers came together to end the program. At that time, they were not about, I'm teaching the 11th grade or 12th grades. There was not that. We joined hands and yes, everybody came together, all the teachers. So we end the program. And after that, when we're teaching at that time, we respected the barrier measure.
Okay.
Yes, we respected the barrier measure. The hand hygiene, the wearing masks, and the physical distancing.
Okay.
So students, if you enter the class, because in our classes in Guinea here, we have sometimes in some school we have 2,000 students in the same class. Sometimes 200. I mean, I'm sorry, 200 students, and in some classes we have 100, and some classes we have 17, 18, and or 16. But at that time, we just put the students in. There was just 25 in the classes.
Okay.
That's why all the teachers were involved.
On duty.
Yes, to teach all the students together. at the same time.
Yeah, nice. That was smart. Thank you very much. Felix.
Yes, this pandemic, of course, affected all of us in our country too, because back in 2020, starting from February, I remember, well, the schools were closed. And then what's happened next after the schools, when we returned, the Minister of Education was forced to make a short program in order to fulfill with our objective. So that's what's happened. Of course, it wasn't easy for us, all of us. And when the students came back to schools, they were not feeling so comfortable with schools because, as I mentioned before, we don't use technology in our schools. So the contact with our student was not, was cut.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have this kind of contact. But the Minister of Education made a lot of effort. When we came back, they produced a short program to fulfill with our goal in teaching English, and we follow this program. Yeah, it was exactly what's happened in our country.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thomas?
Here in Burkina, during the COVID pandemic, we closed all the classes from, I think, March the 16th onwards, 2020. So, yeah, everybody was afraid. So we closed all the classes and we were trying to find a solution. So schools which were in urban areas where the students can afford in connectivity, they created kind of WhatsApp groups at the beginning. WhatsApp groups, some used other devices and applications to teach their students. That was a kind of initiative by some schools, and the government also initiated classes on TV, radio for those who were in the remote places, rural areas, and so on. Yeah, some people could not afford TVs, but they could at least afford radios.
A radio.
Yeah, a radio to listen to the classes and so on. Then when we got more confidence, we resumed classes in June 2020 for only the students who were in exam classes, those who were preparing the exams. Only for those students. So we resumed with those students, respecting the measures.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I realized that there were quite a number of similarities even in my country. Some of the things you people have mentioned, that's what happened. Thank you. I just wanted to give me, we are running out of time. That's why I would like you to give me a very brief answer on this last question that I want to ask. Now we are back in school. We are all going on 2022. Most countries have opened up for face-to-face learning. Do you find, at least in my country, what's happening? Research is showing that the literacy levels of our learners have gone down as a result of the impact of the 2 years, or where some didn't go to school for the 2 years and so on. So the COVID-19 has affected the literacy levels negatively in our country. Do you find that that's a situation in your country, yes or no?
Who's going first?
You can go first.
All right. Yeah, obviously the pandemic has affected the literacy level of our students in Burkina Faso here, and all the stakeholders, all the actors are complaining about it. Because, as I was saying, we did not complete the programs, and this has a serious impact, even if they tried to catch up. But this was rough, you know, we rushed in trying to catch up, and also the students were not psychologically in a mood of learning.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? So yeah, this also impacted on what we tried and all the initiative that we undertook to catch up and so on, because some could come, but they did not have, they were not psychologically ready to learn and so on.
True.
So it's really impacted, but we are struggling to
pick up the pieces.
Catch up. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully in the coming years,
yeah,
we catch up.
Yeah, we hope so. Miriam, thank you, Thomas.
Yes, the COVID,
you're welcome.
Its impact on the level of our students, because when we started with those who were doing examination, they were not that motivated, because most of them thought that the school, they won't start at that moment, and they thought that that year they won't do the examination. So they're just there, even though they were following the classes, the online classes, and on the radio and TV, but they were not that motivated. Yes, and after the examination, they were complaining because of the COVID. They didn't do well on the exam, but most of them, we ended the program, but still, there was lack of motivation.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Felix?
Yes, I have to agree with you, all of you. Of course, that's what happened to all of us. The level of literacy, of course, came down, and you can see it, the kind of interest they had before. They no longer have this kind of interest now.
Yeah. So now we all are picking up pieces, and it's gonna take a while. So thank you very much. This series, thank you very much, Felix. Thank you very much, Miriam. Thank you very much, Thomas. These series, ladies and gentlemen, that we are having here are to help us to find ways, as we share like this, we realize that we have similar problems. In some cases, the problems may not be exactly the same, but we are sharing ideas of how to deal with some of these challenges and so on. So it helps you to know that you are not the only country that is struggling with a particular thing. There are others who are also struggling. In the remaining 2 minutes, I want to ask I see the questions on the question and answer here. The first question says, my question goes to Felix. What's the average of qualified English teachers within the classroom in Angola, whether they have any initial teacher training or not? That's for you.
The question is for me?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah, I can see it. Of course, yeah. Well, I can tell you exactly the number, the average of the numbers of these teachers. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you because I don't have this average right now.
Statistics.
Yeah.
But do you think there are many, or do you have more who are qualified than those who are not qualified, even if we don't have the percentage? Would you say most of our teachers have a qualification, or no, most do not have?
I would say no. I would say no, because I think in terms of average, I would say, because I'm talking about specifically in this region where I am now here in Lunda North, like I mentioned. I think 40%, they are qualified, but
Okay.
60% qualified exactly.
Okay.
But to talk about in general in our country, I can't.
You would not know. Okay, thanks. It still gives the one who asked the question some idea. Thank you for that. And how easy is it for students to have access to learning material, to learning materials in Angola? How easy is it for students to get access to learning materials?
That's very difficult for them, as well as for the teachers. They need to travel somewhere else to buy these materials, and the market doesn't offer much about that. And so it's very, very difficult.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, there's one question. This one is for all three of you that says, what plans, if any, have been put in place to deal with this drop in literacy levels? I need one of you to just respond very briefly. Our time is up. Remember, we agreed that the literacy levels have dropped in all the countries. What plans are there, if there are any, to try and address this? There are none, eh? Is there anyone who has an answer to that? Well, let's just say people are still thinking about it in the different countries, and we're still hoping to get that. I see one more question. Do teachers shift to French when teaching English? In other words, is there code switching? And this one says, from Guinea, I have a question for Felix. I really want to know in Angola, what are the teaching skills? Oh, I think that one has already been answered. That question has been answered.
Please.
Okay, people. Ladies and gentlemen.
Question about.
Oh, yes.
I would like to answer the question about the shift from English to French.
Okay.
While teaching. Yeah. In Burkina Faso, we are not advised to do so, but we are sometimes obliged to do it because when we fail in trying to get the message through with all the strategies that we may use, description, gestures, and miming, and so on, then we resort to French.
Okay.
Yeah, but we try our best to use English in our classes as much as possible because it is the unique opportunity for them to be immersed in the language, because outside the classroom, they will either speak French or the national languages. Yeah, and this is a serious impediment to the linguistic development. So we try our best to speak English as much as possible in the classes.
Okay. So code switching is used just to help them to get the concepts whenever necessary. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the three panelists. Appreciate your coming and sharing. We are no longer in silos. We are no longer operating in silos. We are now one big family on the continent. And our time is up. I'm going to hand over to the president. She has announcements to make. I'm sorry for taking so much time, but thank you very much. And thank you to all the attendees. Over to you, press.
Thank you, Isabel, for moderating the session, and thank you for our presenters tonight. Thank you for joining us, the teachers from Angola, Guinea, and Burkina Faso. I was also following the chat box. We have a lot of interesting insights in the topic. As Rita Bill said, that we are starting to share our experiences and also our challenges. Sometimes in our different contexts. I have a couple of things to share before we end this session. Since you all talked about teachers, communities, and the effect of teacher associations on boosting teacher self-confidence, I would like to announce that Africa Elta conference in August is going to be a virtual conference. You're all invited to join and present and share your experiences. This is our platform to come together as African teachers, and also we always have international presenters that we are happy to have. But this is our opportunity to come together and discuss these issues as a community. So please consider submitting a proposal. We have also mentoring scheme within the conference. If you are a first-time presenter, you get mentored by feedback to submit your proposal and get it to be successful. So you can learn more information about our conference by going to africaelta.org, our website. The deadline for submissions is going to be May 1st. We extended it so we can allow more teachers to submit proposals, and it's going to be virtual. So wherever you are in Africa, you can join us online. We will be glad to have you there. I would also like to break the news that we have for Angola and Guinea and Burkina Faso, the great news that they have started their first website for their association following the training that we had last month with our affiliates at Africa Elta. These three associations have succeeded in starting their own websites, and I'm glad to share with you their websites tonight. So you can also visit them and learn more about these associations. And at Africa Elta, I would like to say congratulations to GETC Guinea for starting their website, official website for the association. There is the link there. It's going to be also posted on our Africa Elta website, so you can go there and link or see this link and website through our website on Africa Elta. Congratulations to also BITA, Burkina Faso, a teachers association, for starting and launching their official website. And congratulations to Elta, Angola, for starting their official association website. We are looking forward to also welcoming our other associations and teacher affiliates in Africa in the next events to share with us their websites and also more information about the work that they are doing in their respective countries. And we will be glad to celebrate this at Africa Elta together. Thank you, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you in our future events.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Amira.